Actually this fall, a few months ago, Menards had a sale on these black plastic sleds. They're the EMSCO EMSCO group. I don't know what it is, but they're really nice sleds. They're super heavy duty. I got this one for $30. Of course, they don't have any more in stock, but that's the way it goes. So what I'm going to do is kind of do a real quick DIY on how to set this up for some of your winter outings. It's a whole lot easier to carry stuff with a sled or a Pulk than it is to carry it on a pack. And I'll probably do some videos in the future too on the differences between like a sled like this, a toboggan, and then a shorter, more of a box-shaped sled. So for this project, I'm going to be building a strap that's going to go across my body. I'm not going to do rigid poles on this because I live where there's a lot of hills, and it's easier to move stuff when you're going downhill to use this as to you have the poles pushing on you and stuff. So one of the guys on Bushcraft USA, Howie, lives up in Montana, and he's kind of the same mindset. So I'm going to be doing that. So it's a piece of webbing about 2 inches wide and maybe about 3.5 feet long. I got this one off of an old tree stand harness. A couple old junk carabiners. Got a couple pieces, about 10 or 12 inch pieces of braided 550 cord. And you don't have to braid it, but you can. For me, it's going to work because that's what I had. And then some 6-foot pieces of rope. Any rope. This will be part of your harness. The little holes in here. I'm going to put 550 cord on. There's a dozen of these. These are about 6 inches long, and I just tied a knot in the end of them, made a loop, and we'll show you how to do those here in a minute. And then I have a grommet kit because I want to put grommets in my my strap that's going to go across my chest or waist or however I want to do it. So I'll be doing that out here, and that's probably the next thing we'll do is go ahead and set this with grommets. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a grommet in this strap that's going to be used to help haul my sled. You don't necessarily have to do this. You could always just tie a sheet bend with your rope, but I have the stuff to do it, so I'm going to do it. These kits that you can get come with the grommets, an anvil, a peening tool that rounds it off, and they come in a male and female side, right? This goes down and this goes over the top. You just have to put a hole in your strap. So what I'm going to do, just put a hole in it. Let's see if we can get her to fit in there. Not quite yet. So you may enlarge a little bit. Always be careful when you're doing this so you're not cutting towards yourself. And all I'm going to do is just kind of put a little X in it. Almost got it. This stuff's a little fuzzy. Alright, so I'm going to take my male end, put it through the hole, I hope. I have to burn that off a little bit. Got a lighter here. Burn off some of this fuzz. Being a pain in the buttocks. Alright. Got that on there. I'll put my anvil down. Put that on the anvil. Put the female side over the top of it. Get my peening tool. And that is what you end up with, is a grommet in your piece of webbing. So it'll be a lot easier to tie a line through it. I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and attach these lines to the strap I made. And once again, these are about 6 foot. all I'm going to do is tie a bowline through here. And then on the other side, I'm going to tie a fixed loop, just an overhand knot with a loop, because that's where my carabiner is going to go to haul it. Okay? And that's all there is to that. Now on the front, this came with a hole right here, and I drilled a hole here to correspond with this. And the reason why is I want it to be a little bit stronger, so it goes through the whole body. There's reinforcements in here. If this ends up being not strong enough, I'm going to take a piece of aluminum, I'm going to wrap it around here and end up drilling holes through that and do that. I know people have done eye bolts in these before, but for my purposes, what I'm going to do this for, this is going to be more than adequate. So I'm just going to run that through there, and there's a few different knots you can do. You can just tie an overhand knot if you want, which is what I'll do here, just to secure that. And then that gives me room to take my carabiner, run that through there, and then that's going to be the attachment point for my hauling system. All right, one more thing that I need to do with this is that there is a dozen of these holes all the way around this, and that's where these little pieces of 550 cord come in. So with this, all I'm going to do is I just double them up, tie a knot in them, push it up through the hole. Oh, I gotta tilt this over. Up. So I'm going to move on to another one. I'm going to have to, there we go. It's got a little bit of a stuff left from the factory in there. So that comes up, and then all I'm going to do is tie it in a knot again. And that's going to give me a spot to run my lines back and forth to secure all my equipment. So I'm going to get this whole thing laid out, opened up, and ream out this hole, get all these tie out points done, and hook up everything, and I'll show you how it looks when we're all the way done. Alright, so here it is finished. I put those loops in, and the tow line with the strap on it's hooked on it. You can see that those things are pretty long. They're kind of coiled up there, but the reason that they're so long is that way you can wear cross-country skis or snowshoes with it, and they're not going to bang on your sled. I will be doing other videos in the future. Like I said, I'll be doing one on packing this sled and do comparisons between this sled and other different types of winter sleds, pulks, toboggans. Wanted to include that I added a couple of attachment points on here. There was 4 holes here that were not drilled. They're kind of pre-drilled but weren't drilled all the way. So I drilled them all the way and just had some braided 550 cord, came up from the bottom and down and up and down, and just tied knots in the ends of them to keep them from pulling out. And what this is going to do is a couple things for me. Number one, it's going to give me handles if I want to load it and unload it into a vehicle. It's easier that way. And the big advantage is since I have my carabiners on here, if I have a long downhill run, all I have to do is hook those on there, and it's real easy to lower it down the hill. And that's another advantage of not having poles. I've skied a lot with poles on a sled before, and I kind of like the sling method just a little bit better for around here anyway. So anyway, that was just a little add-on, and like I said, I'm going to be doing further videos on packing, hauling, and how to use this sled out in the woods.